Mark Skaar on the Skaar Kaard on 103.7 The Fox. Proud to welcome in the legendary Danny Kortchmar of the Immediate Family. Danny, how are you?
I'm great, and hello to everyone out there. I hope everyone is staying warm and being good.
Yes, indeed. And you guys put an EP out middle of October, and I thought, first of all, for those that are uninitiated, you guys go way, way back. 50 years, huh?
Yeah, Russ and Lee and I have been playing together for, over 50 years. With Waddy, it's only been 45 years.
That's right. And so for the uninitiated, let's tell our listeners who's in the Immediate Family.
Okay, so it's Waddy Martel, guitar, Lee Sklar, bass, Russ Kunkel, drums, Steve Postel, guitar, and myself, guitar.
I think I know everybody except Steve, so let's talk about him and his credentials and how he came into the band.
Steve is a really terrific all-around musician and a really fine guitarist, and he plays very differently than Waddy and I. He's classically trained and has great finger-picking styles, which Waddy and I don't do, and he's an all-around great guy. He also has a nice tenor voice, a very good singer. We have, as a result, he fits in beautifully with us. And he's been around. He's done an awful lot of stuff. He's played with everybody, and he's not quite as well-known as the rest of us, but he's very, very talented and well-known here in L.A. for sure.
Talking with Danny Kortchmar of the Immediate Family, and I thought since the EP is out, there's 5 songs, I thought if you don't mind, we'll go through them track by track and talk a little bit about them. Some of the songs people will know, some are new, starting with Slippin' and Slidin'.
Yeah, Slippin' and Slidin', that's a song Waddy and I collaborated with a fellow named Tito La Riva on that song. And the way it worked out was Waddy and I came up with the track. This is a long time. We did this pretty long time ago. We were in my home studio out here in L.A., and Waddy and I came up with most of the stuff. Waddy played that great slide part that starts it. And Tito said, well, let me write some lyrics. He left the room, and in 10 minutes he came back with the lyrics completely done, and they're great, great lyrics, really terrific. Tito's a brilliant guy. And before you know it, we had the song recorded, a demo recorded of it. And then it went kind of into limbo for a while. Tito was doing it with his band, Tito and the Tarantulas, and that also was a while ago. And then when we started Immediate Family, Waddy and I remembered that song and said, let's pull that thing out. And we did, and we're doing it our way now, and that's what you hear on the EP.
Tito had a great band many years ago called The Plugs. Check them out.
The Plugs, sure. That's right, one of the proto-punk bands in Los Angeles. And
yes.
Tito's a very, very bright fellow, terrific writer, very bright guy.
Yeah, great stuff. New York Minute, of course, people will know that because you worked with Don Henley on that track.
Yeah, that's right. So our version is very different than Don's version, obviously. And Don wanted to write a song about New York to capture the kind of the zeitgeist of New York. And we went ahead and did that. I created some music. I started writing music right away. And once I played Don what I had, which is what you hear, he started writing lyrics. And before you know, we had the song. But it's a very different treatment. His treatment is very different than ours. We're a rock and roll guitar band, so we had to translate that song into doing it our way, which is what you hear on the EP. Mm-hmm.
Always a great song. I think I prefer your version. It just sticks in my head.
Oh, that's great. Very nice to hear that.
And you did a video treatment for it as well.
Sure did, yes. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Talking with Danny Kortchmar about the Immediate Family. Next up is Top of the Rock.
Right. Top of the Rock, I wrote that about, 10, 12 years ago. I was just thinking about what they call Masters of the Universe, some rich, entitled guy in New York. I had no idea Trump was going to be president. It's not about Trump at all. It's about Wall Street kind of guys. And it just came together. I don't know. I didn't think about it that much. It just kind of fell into place. And we recorded it, and what you hear is it. It's a story, and, it's a thing. We liked it a lot. Again, it's rock and roll, but it's our version of rock and roll. It's an actual song. It's got melody and everything. But we do it in a rock and roll style for sure.
Next up, everybody knows it, Werewolves of London.
Yeah, well, obviously that's a great song that Waddy wrote with Warren Zevon. And what can I say? Waddy wrote the song with Warren and produced the record, Warren's record. And so obviously when we put the band together, we knew we had to do Werewolves of London, of course. And that version is is live. That version is we remixed it, but it's a live version of that tune, and with Waddy performing it, Waddy singing it. And obviously it's a crowd pleaser, and we love doing it. And we all got to play with Warren when he was alive, and just the greatest guy you can imagine. Very, very smart, charming, wonderful person. We all loved him. And so we're very glad to be doing his tune.
And the EP wraps with a track called Cruel Twist.
Yeah, Cruel Twist, I wrote that quite a while ago. Again, that's kind of an oldie, maybe 20 years ago. And I started it with a fellow named Harvey Brooks, the great bass player Harvey Brooks, who's played with everybody. One of the only musicians you could ever name that can claim to have played with Bob Dylan and Miles Davis. He was a legendary guy in New York, one of the first Fender bass players, and he worked with everybody. And I was living in Westport, Connecticut at the time, and Harvey was there. We met, and we had a little band called Slow Leak, him and me and a fellow named Charlie Karp. And we were trying to think of a tune one day, and Harvey just said, what about Cruel Twist? He just said that line. I said, perfect, great. And immediately, started writing a lyric to go with that great title. And that's how it came about. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a real blues shuffle, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Talking to Danny Kortchmar, I've heard you talk about things like you didn't think about it too much and people just uttering a phrase. And I want to talk about the art of songwriting because you've been at it for a long time and you've had a lot of success with it. But if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
Well, I don't think it really can be taught. It's you either have a flair for or a feeling for or you don't. I've been doing it since I've been writing songs since I was 16. Obviously, they stunk until they started getting better, and that's the way it is with songwriting. You just keep at it, and then things start to fall into place. The way I write now, it's really, I have no formula for writing. I don't sit down and go, now I'm going to write a song. Things come to me. I'm always, I have a guitar right nearby, always, at my pad, so I'm always playing the guitar. And when an idea comes, I also keep track of a lot of ideas, phrases, ideas for lyrics, ideas for titles of songs. And so I go to that and pull something out and throw something together, It's kind of an ongoing process. And that's really all I can say about it because, like I said, it's not something that really can be taught. It's something you have to kind of teach yourself.
Talking with Danny Kortchmar, I think next year we'll see a full album from you folks, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have an album already recorded, and we recorded that basically 9 months ago. And more than that, actually. Almost a year ago we started recording it. And because of the virus, everything got put on hold. We also have there's a documentary being made about us by the great Denny Tedesco, who did the Wrecking Crew documentary. And that's going to be a terrific thing for us as well. So we're trying to coordinate between having the documentary and the album come out around the same time.
And you've been doing some live things online, too, with much success. I've checked a couple of those out. Those are fantastic.
Yeah, well, we have fun doing that. Obviously, a lot of people are doing this now because, it's impossible to play for an audience. So we do these live streaming things where we go into a room and, there's a multi-camera shoot. We set up and we play. And, listen, we really miss playing together. We love to play. We love playing live. There's nothing like playing rock and roll in front of an audience and getting the feedback from the audience. So we miss that terribly. And obviously, we'll be back doing it as soon as humanly possible.
Danny, let's talk some more about the documentary. About how long has that been in production, and what can you tell us about it?
Well, we started talking about it more than a year ago with Denny, and the idea was three of us started off mid-'70s or early '70s with a thing called The Section, and that was an instrumental group. The three of us, Russ Lee and myself, and Craig Durgan on keys. And so the idea for this documentary would be to trace all of us from the time we started playing together with James Taylor to The Section, and then, onward and upward. We also played with Jackson Brown. We played with an awful lot of people, collectively and individually. And then finally, it evolved into a place where we became a band, rock and roll band, which we have now. So it's a hell of a story because we've known each other so long. We played with so many different people that it's a really interesting story. An awful lot of people are on board. A lot of people we work with have come and have been interviewed for this documentary. So it's going to be a real terrific thing.
And you've seen the final cut, I'm sure.
No, not yet. There's
no?
still editing. Actually.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. It's going to be terrific.
Recently, we lost Eddie Van Halen, and I recently learned that you were involved in the production, at least of some of the tracks, on the second Gary Cherone record, which never saw the light of day.
Well, that's right. I was brought in to work with them when Gary Cherone was the lead singer. We went in there, and it was Eddie Van Halen. First of all, he was the sweetest guy you could ever imagine. So lovely, lovely person who I loved being around. Just a great guy. And also ridiculous. I mean, everyone knows. I don't have to say anything about his playing because everyone knows what an absolute genius he was, which he certainly was. This guy just had music pouring out of him in every direction. But the situation with Gary Cherone really wasn't going anywhere. The songs weren't working out. The lyrics Cherone were writing didn't really fit Van Halen, according to Eddie. And so we worked on it for a while, but it didn't really go anywhere. And it's really unfortunate that it didn't. Because, I loved, like I said, I really thought the world of Eddie and wished that I could have done more work with him.
We're looking forward to more from the immediate family and loving the EP. Looking forward to the full length in 2021 and seeing you tour.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. And we're definitely looking forward to people hearing this album because we're very proud of it. It came out really well. The songs are terrific. The playing, obviously, is great. And these guys are phenomenal musicians. And we're very, very proud of it.
Danny, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, and thank you.
It's Danny Kortchmar from the immediate family. I'm Mark Skaar on 103.7 The Fox. This is the Skaar Card.